What is up, guys? It is Christ, and we are back with another video. Welcome back to Dream Theater Thursday, and welcome back to the Octavarium album reaction. This is going to be episode 2 of, I'm going to call it 3, simply because Octavarium is like a 24-minute long song, so we're going to be reacting to that song separately from these 3 songs that we're going to be doing in this video. I am going to also be doing that, recording at a different time since it's past midnight here. We're going to power through the 3 ones that I have simply because I know if I do it tomorrow, which is the day you guys are supposed to see this, that I'm not going to have enough time to record. Yeah, so we're going to be doing this tonight. Get some rest, then come back and do some more. And there's also going to be another video coming out today. It's I reacted to Mike Portnoy's Wikipedia Fact or Fiction. That was a pretty interesting video, so hopefully you guys are able to watch that. Hopefully there's no issues with like copyright or anything. Pretty good video, pretty informative, goes into a bit of insight about how Mike Portnoy sort of got started in music and then how he sort of split from Dream Theater. Pretty interesting video, if I do say so myself. So the 3 that we have that we're going to be doing right now is Panic Attack, Never Enough, and Sacrificed Sons. And Panic Attack is pretty self-explanatory, according to Genius. It's about the feelings that you go through when you are having a panic attack. I cannot talk right now for some reason. And there's actually a very good chance that I have heard this song because I played Rock Band 2 very heavily, and this says on Genius that it was one of the hardest songs on Rock Band. So on Rock Band 2 specifically. So there's a good chance I may have heard this one and may not have recognized it. I may have actually skipped over it because the ones that had weird time signatures I just didn't care for back then. It's also apparently the fastest song that they've ever played up until this point, which is pretty interesting. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with Panic Attack. Okay, getting hardcore Tool vibes right off the start. train of thought vibes. Okay. Excellent keyboard solo. Love the dueling solo. Bridges in the Sky. This knows me too well. The YouTube algorithm knows me too well. It starts playing Bridges in the Sky. That is definitely one of my favorites off of a dramatic turn of events. But this is about a different song. This is about Panic Attack. Um, so I'm gonna reiterate my statement that I said in the last video. I had discovered some kind of connection between songs. I said that this is basically 6 Degrees Part 2. And I stated that for good reason. Because every single one of the songs in this I guess album that I have heard so far has to deal with uh, mental issues of some kind. Like every single song has. This one's about panic attacks. The root of all evil was about alcoholism. The answer lies within. I believe was about trying to break out of your own shell. No, it was encouraging you to break out of your own shell. These walls was about you inside your shell. What was I walk beside you about again? I can't remember. Okay, yeah, it's about low self-esteem, low confidence, not really believing in yourself. So far, this continues the trend with Panic Attack. Every single song that I have heard on this record up until this point has something to do with uh, some kind of mental issue. I wouldn't say like disorder or anything, but just different kinds of stuff that people deal with. This album is very relatable in that sense. And Panic Attack is no different. I used to suffer from panic attacks and anxiety attacks and that kind of stuff, and sometimes I still do. Let me tell you, it's terrible. Um, there's really no other feeling like it. Um, when you are going through a panic attack, what I used to get was it would literally feel like there was a boa constrictor. I mean, like we're talking one like big old anacondas, like probably this big around, um, just wrapping around your chest and squeezing the life out of you. Uh, it felt like the more you breathe, the shallower your breath would become, and you would just feel like you were about to pass out from oxygen starvation. My vision used to go black when I would get these terrible, and I mean terrible, panic attacks where they were extremely debilitating. I used to get them really, really bad. So I can definitely sort of understand where this song is coming from. And yeah, it's not something I really want to dwell on because there's a lot of things in here that are definitely bringing back some stuff that I don't really necessarily want to bring back. Um, I will say that I relate to a lot of issues in this song. I don't really want to talk about it simply because they still happen. Panic attacks for me still happen. I've never really really delved into sort of like this side of me here. Um, and I don't really want to be exposed to this too much. Just understand that I do understand what the song is talking about. I understand probably too well what this song is talking about. I'll put it that way. Like a lot of times when I hear a Dream Theater song, I would say I can relate to this, but I haven't necessarily gone through this. And in this aspect, I have lived this all too frequently, all too, I guess, vividly. I understand what this song is talking about, and it's very negative for me, which is why I don't really want to talk about it. Yeah, so that's where I'm going to leave this song in terms of its lyrical interpretation. Not something I want to dwell on. However, I will say the music in this song is definitely a step up compared to last episode. There was crazy time signature changes like all over the place. And there was like absolutely amazing guitarists. I do have one criticism for this. I guess for this album in general. The bass and the mids are turned up way too high, and it doesn't have nearly enough treble that it needs. To me, the mix just kind of sounds muddy. In this song particularly, it sounded really muddy. But I have a feeling that was more of an artistic choice than anything, simply because they were trying to simulate what it feels like to be in a panic attack. And so that may have been an artistic choice. I definitely noticed it more in this song than I have the previous songs, and I've listened to them quite a bit. So I would say it was probably an artistic choice for this song, but we'll have to wait until the next song to find out. The keyboard solo in this song was absolutely amazing, as always. There's really not much I can say. Like these solos just are absolutely amazing, and I really love the guitar solo, and I love the dueling solo between Jordan and John. It was pretty awesome. In terms though of LaBrie's vocals, it sounded like he wasn't really pushing himself that hard. It sounded like he was just trying to stay in a sort of middle ground. There was some parts where he did get a little bit higher than others, but for the most part, it seemed like he was just trying to stay in a very comfortable range. It could have been though to do with like sort of like the song. The song's supposed to have like some sort of almost doom type of feel to it, not necessarily doom metal, but doom as though you feel something's coming, you feel something impending is coming, and you know you're not gonna like it. So maybe it was more of an artistic choice, just like the mix. I don't know if either of those two things are true. We're gonna have to wait to find out when we check out the next two songs. So the next song is going to be "Never Understand." Never enough. Sorry, I've been thinking of a different one. I was thinking of Angra. Never enough. Let's look and see what it says on Genius. Come on. Okay. This song is talking. Ooh, this one's gonna be spicy, spicy. This song is talking about some of the fans who complain about Dream Theater trying to commercialize themselves, but they do not appreciate how hard they work for it, how they neglect everything only for satisfying us, the fans. Never enough is how the band perceives some of the listeners. No matter what the band produces, they only find something to complain about. He's saying some fans are ungrateful and is wondering what if he would stop producing them, what would they say then? Yeah, so that's it's a pretty rough one. This sounds like it could be a divisive one, definitely. Because I'm not gonna lie, I do see some criticism. I actually haven't seen any criticism recently on Dream Theater. My channel, the mainly ones that I noticed it for was really Distance Over Time was really the only one I got I heard a lot of like criticism, mainly geared towards Labrie. So that's pretty interesting. Seems like it's sort of piggybacking, or rather, On the Backs of Angels is piggybacking off of this one, perhaps. The more I listen to On the Backs of Angels, the more I realize, yes, it could be about spiraling drug addictions, but at the same time, it is more so about the band themselves and how the fans will how they perceive them one day to the next. So that's just sort of like a little bit of input I could say on something I've already heard. So yeah, let's go ahead and check out Never Enough. What a song. Holy crap. Um, I gotta be honest, that song made me feel like crap, and I never once criticized them for like um going like I guess mainstream or commercial. I've always said this, I will continue to say this. I don't care when a band goes commercial, right? I've seen Metallica do it, I've seen Avenged Sevenfold do it, I've seen Volbeat do it. I don't really care. I still love the bands. I'm a fan of the bands, and I'll support the bands no matter what they do. Um, and I understand that I'm in the minority when it comes to that. I appreciate bands that put out. I don't judge works off of previous works. Um, I've never really done that before, and I know that I'm in the minority. And there's a lot of people that will criticize a band over the smallest change possible. I'm in fact I can't speak today for some reason. I am active in the forums with like Dream Theater and all this different kinds of stuff. I see the comments that people make. Um, People actually think that this is the start of the downfall of Dream Theater, and they don't necessarily like changes or really they rather the changes aren't welcome. They want them to just keep um, innovating and innovating and innovating, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel every single time you make a record. Um, Dream Theater has established themselves. They don't need to prove themselves to anybody. They, from what I have heard, they are one of the most technically proficient bands I have ever heard in my entire life. They don't need to prove that to anybody. They've already proved it. You don't have to constantly try and one up yourself every single record. That's not being creative. Being creative is expressing your passions. Being creative is expressing your emotions and the creativity that you want to create, the things you want to create, songs you want to create, albums, stories, um, themes, that kind of stuff. It's not always about trying to outplay your last solo or do the most crazy time signatures in a song. It's not about that. That's not what being creative is about. Um, and so I guess I don't really understand where the people are coming from that they say, sure, there's songs about Dream Theater that like in Dream Theater's catalog that I don't like, but I love them as a whole, and I wouldn't ever say that an album is bad just because it has songs that I don't necessarily care for on it. Um, this album so far is just kind of fallen a middle of the pack for me. Hopefully, Sacrifice Sons and Octavarium are way better. But this album's like just middle of the pack. But would I say it's a terrible album? Absolutely not. I really enjoy the songs that are on this album. Um, I just realized I'm getting off on a rant. I do apologize for that. Let's get back to this song. So this song is basically about the band expressing frustrations because of uh, perceived either changes or I guess possibly being sellouts. That's how the fans perceive them, or something. Which in my mind doesn't make sense because this came, I believe, right after Train of Thought, arguably their heaviest record that they've ever done. Um, so I don't necessarily understand why they're saying um, that they're trying to commercialize themselves because this record came out and it's not like they would have had the foresight to say this. I guess I just don't understand it. I mean, that's just me. But it says cut myself open wide, reach inside, help yourself to all I have to give. And basically what he's saying here is I am laying all my emotions out there for you to see. I am opening up myself to you. Uh, and then he says, and then you help yourself again. And then complain that you didn't like the way I put the knife in wrong. You didn't like the way my blood spilled on your brand new floor. Um, Not really gonna really address the last line, but like the analogy here, the knife and the blood are both analogies in that I believe are analogies for the knife is the song, or rather the instrument, or maybe the album, and the blood is the subject matter. Um, so what they're saying is like he put everything they put everything they have into a record, and I'm it probably boils down to creativity, right? Because they make songs that they want to play, not what people want to hear. Um, and so he's saying that they tried to express themselves creatively, and they just didn't like it. Fans didn't like it. Um, so the chorus says, "What would you say if I walked away? Would you appreciate?" I want to address this specifically because there has been bands that have broken up, and a lot of times hindsight's 2020. Whether it be for a hater, whether it be for someone who stuck with the band, whether it be someone who was just a casual listener, um, hindsight's always 2020. It's not just in music too, right? It's in movies. It's in um, even works of art, for example. Artists in their lifetime don't necessarily receive the credit that is due to them, but it's only after they die that their work becomes immortalized. Films, for example, film franchises. I'm going to use the Spider-Man franchise for, well, as an example. The Spider-Man one with Tobey Maguire, 1, 2, 3. Um, it was back then was regarded as highly inaccurate when it comes to comic book um, lore, but yet after it was canceled, everybody realized how good it was. Not necessarily production or comic book wise, but it had soul, it had heart. And the same thing, what he's saying here is that um, what if we just walked away? Um, would you appreciate it? I mean, I'm sort of just reiterating what he says here. He says, "But then it'd be too late, because I can only take so much of your ungrateful ways. Everything is never enough." So all of our creativity, all of our passion, all of our sacrifices that we've made to tour for you guys, to put records out for you guys, is never enough for you. That's what he's saying here. And that's, like I said before, it makes me feel like crap. Even though I never did this myself, I've never actually done this to an artist. But it's just, you can understand the frustration, and a lot of times with artists or actors or game developers or directors of movies, we forget that they're human just like us. We like to put them on this pedestal where we view them as only entertainment and nothing else. We don't view them as a person. We don't view them as someone who can have issues, who can have depression, who can have family problems and real life things and circumstances. We tend to forget that, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And he says, sacrifice my life, neglect my kids and wife, all for you to be happy. All those sleepless nights and countless fights to give you more. And then you say, how dare that I didn't write you back. I must be too good for you. I only care about myself. Um, Again, this is just, man. If this didn't make people who felt this way feel bad, I don't know what will. Like, because this is, it's not really like to hate on them. It's to say, hey, we are people too. You need to stop trying to criticize us for everything we make when we're trying to give you everything we have. I'm not going to bother anymore with this because it's just the chorus, but man, it was, I completely forgot to even talk about the music since I got so wrapped up the in the lyrics and just talk about stuff. This song hits home to me in case you guys didn't tell. I think I spent probably almost 10 minutes just talking about this part specifically. Um, so I've really, really enjoyed this song. I thought that the music was excellent. I really liked all the aggressive riffs that they had. And this was just a super shreddy song. Really loved it. This was closer to something like Train of Thought to me than it was, well, this album as a whole. I could definitely tell that during Octavarium, some of the Train of Thought, like writing process, the mentalities were probably still within them. And so it kind of transferred over to this album. We heard it with This Dying Soul, not This Dying Soul, Root of All Evil, and then obviously with this one. There was a couple of references in the previous one, Panic Attack, that also were very Train of Thought-esque, but this one definitely, this one and Root of All Evil, I think would have been perfect fits on Train of Thought. Um, Absolutely crushing riffs. Really enjoyed this song. Can't give it enough praise. So with that, we have one last song in the episode, and that is Sacrifice Sons. I do apologize for that tangent we went off on. It just, subject I really care about. So yeah. Let's see. It looks like it's going to be the longest one this episode. Let's look and see what Genius has to say. Okay. The 7th track on Octavarium. Written by vocalist James Labrie, Sacrificed Sons is about the 9/11 terrorist attack on the World Trade Center as he wonders why the people did what they did that day. Okay, so this looks... There is... Okay, never mind. Okay, so this looks like it's going to deal with religion, terror attacks, and that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to touch the lyrics with this with a 10-foot pole. I try to keep things neutral either way. So I'm not really going to be talking about lyrics. We're going to be judging this more off a music standpoint. This
has all the extraordinarily well-coordinated and devastating terrorist attack. Terrorism against our nation will not stand. The government will hunt down those responsible.
Terrorism means striking terror into the hearts of people. That has been accomplished. Looking in awe, amazement, shock, and grief and anger at what they were seeing in front of them.
A billowing smoke rising. Good Lord. There was a cascade. There are no words. Fire. And we see this extraordinarily and frightening scene behind us. This is just a horrific scene. And there are times in our lives that are just life-changing.
These are actual samples from
here, certainly to be one of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang, that was a really good freaking song. Um, People had said that the second half was better, and I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna go out on a limb and agree. I mean, there was some really good songs in the beginning, but like the last three songs, Panic Attack, Never Enough, and then Sacrifice Sons, are all three top tier songs. So I definitely agree with people when they say the last three are, or the last four are better. I haven't heard Octavarium yet, obviously, but um, these three songs, holy crap, they've been absolutely amazing. Um, there was a recurring riff in this song that I'm pretty sure was a reversed uh, main riff of The Root of All Evil. I'm not sure. Hold on, I just kind of want to look real quick. Okay. Sacrificed. Sons. Root. Hmm. Not finding anything, but I'm pretty sure that that ending riff was a reversed version of the Root of All Evil main riff. It definitely sounded like it, but I'm not 100% certain. Um, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but it just definitely sounded like it was the a reversed version of the Root of All Evil riff. Either way, there was some really cool riffs in this song. That's one thing that this song definitely did right. I was thinking, just like the previous one, this definitely sounded like it would have fit perfectly on Train of Thought. Um, so yeah, I think that these songs are definitely heavier in the end. Really, really enjoyed them. This song, it had a lot of like pretty how do I put this in a way it's not going to offend people in a very I guess blunt way. The lyrics, I'm not really going to get into them, but um, there's a lot of stuff said that I'm just not going to get into. I really want to, but at the same time, I don't want to at the same time, simply because there could be some people from a certain religious mindset. There could be some that are from a different religious mindset, and some that are probably of no religious mindset at all. And so I just don't want to offend people. This channel is about bringing people together, not separating them through politics or religion. So I'm not going to get into it. Um, However, the music, I really, really, really enjoyed the guitar riffs in this song. I really enjoyed the drumming. Mike Portnoy is absolutely killing it, and John Myung, I don't give him enough credit. He is an absolutely amazing bassist, and I wish that he just had some bass sections all to himself to really give him the spotlight. Hopefully, in some of the coming albums, we will. But he's an absolutely amazing bassist, and it's a shame that he's not more I guess, in the spotlight than he is. But really enjoyed the different kinds of keyboards, this sort of like almost symphony aspects that they had to this song. So yeah, this song overall was really, really good. Lots of memorable riffs, lots of memorable instrumental parts. That one instrumental part was absolutely crazy. Towards the outro there, it was absolutely amazing. Really enjoyed that. Overall, we're getting into the album discussion part. I've made a decision. I'm going to do the album discussion here. I got to tell you guys now that I'm going to be putting a poll out as soon as this video is released for the next Dream Theater album. And I don't know, but there's a certain album that people are wanting me to do. We'll get into it after the album review. So keep in mind, this is all with a grain of salt because I still haven't heard Octavarium yet. But I feel that I want to sort of react to that song in its, on its own. Not only that, but I feel that it's long enough that like I could be able to just sort of give a mini review on that song in and of itself. And if there's anything that changes between now and then, I will happily put that in. But overall, this album was kind of mixed for me. There was a lot of songs I really liked. For example, there was stuff like this. There was Never Understand, Panic Attack. But then there was also like one or two songs where I didn't really think they were like as good as the others. Yeah, sure, they were good. There was, I think there was two ballads in the beginning. Um, I would say though that the strong songs are definitely the ones that are not ballads. There was one ballad, I can't remember which one it was, that really blew me away. I think it was. I think it was "I Walk Beside You." That was the one that I really, really liked. Um, but yeah, there was a lot of really good songs on this record, and also some that I didn't think were necessarily as great as others. I'm not going to say that they were bad songs because they weren't. I just enjoyed the other ones better, I guess is the best way to put it. For example, Load by Metallica is a good album, but there's albums that I prefer over it. But I still like listening to Load every now and then. Same thing with these songs. Um, so yeah, I would say that the it's got a very uh, middle pack type of favoritism, I guess you'd put it. This isn't like my favorite album, but it's not the worst album by any means. It's sort of just middle of the pack. There's definitely some really good songs on here. Some I didn't really think were as good as others. That's the best way I could put this album. It was kind of mixed for me. Um, Overall, I definitely enjoyed it. I will be buying it as soon as I am able to get the funds. I still need to get a dramatic turn of events. I still need to get 6 Degrees. Still need to buy that album. I haven't bought it yet. I think it's the only two I'm missing. I have Train of Thought. No, Images and Words. I still need to buy Images and Words as well. But yeah, so now we're going to get into the part where I leave it to you. What did you think of my reactions? If you could fill me in on any sort of thing that I may have missed, please let me know in the comment section down below. And so now we're going to be getting into the what I was talking about, the albums. I'm going to be putting up the poll for the next album. And so I want you guys to vote on that. But there's a certain album. I don't want to influence the voting, but there's a certain album that people want me to react to. Some people, I shouldn't say all people. Some people want me to react to songs In the Presence of Enemies, Part 1 and 2 together. The problem is they are the beginning and the very tail end of the record. So I need to know if that one ends up winning, if I see that it's taking the lead and there's not really a chance that anything else is going to be overtaking it, I'm going to put out a second poll. And the second poll, keep in mind, this is all if that album even wins. There's a good chance it won't, and I don't want you guys to pick it simply because of what I'm saying here. But if it does win, I'm going to be putting out a second poll of whether people want me to react to both of those together or any place that they are wanting them. It's the best way I could put it. Guys, that's going to be all for this video. I do apologize. It's almost an hour long. I definitely did not want to be keeping you guys this long, but it is what it is. Last closing thoughts. I thought it was a solid album, but I think I like some albums better and some albums a little bit less than better. Well, a little bit less. For example, I think that this album is above... let's see. In order, I guess, that I have right now, it fluctuates between Train of Thought and A Dramatic Turn of Events. Those two are really good albums. Top 3, Scenes from a Memory, Train of Thought, A Dramatic Turn of Events, and then I would say this one and Distance Over Time are the middle two. Images and Words is second to last, and then 6 Degrees, which is an absolute shame because there's songs on it I do like and some I don't. I would say that the 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence song itself is amazing, but there's just some songs on it that fell short of expectations that I really can't listen to. I listened to the first couple of songs on the record, and then I skip to like the 6 Degrees when I go to listen to it. So that's last for me. Images and Words is awesome. The problem is, it's not like those are bad albums, right? Because I really enjoy Dream Theater as a whole. The albums are awesome. It's just, it's hard to place them because each record is just so good that it's, I feel bad saying that an album is dead last or an album is like at the front. That's going to be all for this video, guys. If you're new here and you guys want to see more Dream Theater, definitely hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you like the video. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end the video, guys, here. This has been Christ. We will see you in the next one.